Oh. Oh my God.
We called them up and we were like, okay, we're going to bring Hank back now. Delighted, you know, your dog's fixed. And they were like, no, keep him. So the first time I heard about Hank, we got a phone call with some pictures from some people who kind of knew him. They said they were the owners, and we drove down there because there was little maggots in his wound we could see from the picture, and it's really important that you get there quickly in that situation because the maggots are literally eating him alive.
Oh. Oh my God. Hello.
He was living in under some like shacks and houses, and when we got there things were really, really bad.
Oh, hello, mister.
When you see a dog that big, like Hank is a big guy and he has a big scary face and he's got a hole in his body with maggots in it. Like you approach him really carefully because he could like snap and like he really, really big guy. So we were worried, but he was really, really, really friendly. Like he ran up to us and I don't know how he was surviving because they were literally crawling around inside him and like eating his flesh alive.
What a good boy.
Good boy.
All better soon, mate. Good boy. See you, mate. Won't be long.
Hank sort of had owners. There was people who were living in his area who were the ones who notified us. So what happened was we actually took him to the vets, and after, fast forward about a week when we got him fixed, we called him up and we were like, okay, we're gonna bring Hank back now. Delighted, you know, your dog's fixed. And they were like, no, keep him.
Yay!
The people cared enough to call us, which is good, but they didn't care enough to really want him as their full-time dog. So even though he'd adapted to the land here really well, we were stuck with the dog, which sounds bad, but our job is to fix dogs up. So the next hard task was to try and find him a home. Hank's personality was, oh my God, I think a goofball is the best way I would describe him. He was just like a big doofus, goofball, clumsy, big doofus type guy. He was just so amazingly good fun. All the other dogs gravitate towards him, like Cindy loved him, Special loved him. They all would go and sit beside him, and all the humans loved him. But he was one of those sort of dogs, he's just so big he'd sort of like bump into you and like he's a big boy and he just like always wants attention. So he'd be headbutting you, looking for attention, but a really big, soft, gentle giant. So Hank actually had a couple of people interested in him and the offers were nearly very serious, but they fell through. It's hard to get an older dog. He's about 4 to 6 years old. Big dog, had an injury, has a little bit of a sore leg. So I mean, he's a very hard dog to get adopted as opposed to a puppy. But luckily, eventually, his lottery numbers came up and he did get a home. And it was an amazing home in Bangkok. The new owners of Hank, actually more private people, not the sort of people who want to be on the internet or have an Instagram account, but they are just the nicest people. There was 4 other dogs living with them and a big family. Everybody was really sad to see him go. Alana and Jules and Zoe and Valeria, everybody was here waving him off because he's just one of those big characters that we'll all miss. So he went off in his taxi and I met him up there, and it was a good job that I met him because he's sort of such a big dog that he'd scare the other dogs. So when he arrived, it was a really slow process of just introducing him to the dogs and making him feel comfortable. And I was actually worried about him even on the taxi journey because it's a 15-hour ferry and taxi journey up there, and even though he's big, he's a big sensitive soul, but he found his forever home. He couldn't be happier, and just to have an ending like that for a big guy like him was just really, really special. Hank the Tank was here for about 3 months and we won't forget him in a hurry. He's gonna live happily ever after.